I'm Jessy Rose, and today I'm going to show you the Gorge. I lived in Portland for many years, but the Gorge stole my heart. So this video is about the pros and cons, or what it's like to live in the Columbia River Gorge. Just east of Portland along Interstate 84, it follows the Columbia River, and that's the Gorge area that we're going to talk about. So it's sure to be the most beautiful drive you've ever taken. You have views of gorgeous mountains. You're right along the river. There's canyons on each side of that. There's waterfalls. There's lush green forest. There's just so many awesome little viewpoints to stop at and get your picture taken. Some people like to just sit and enjoy the views, and other people like to really get out there outside and get involved in being outdoors. So if you're an outdoor person, there's tons of recreation. No matter what kind of outdoor recreation you want to find, you're likely going to find it in the Gorge area. Some of the most popular are the awesome hikes with viewpoints at the end. Cycling, there's great cycling routes in the Gorge. Camping, windsurfing. Hood River is one of the greatest places to go windsurfing. People come from all over the world to windsurf there. Just about 30 miles away, you have Mount Hood, where you can do skiing and things like that in the winter. We actually do have year-round skiing at Mount Hood, but most people do it in the winter. There is rock climbing nearby. There really is every type of outdoor recreation. Rafting and paddleboarding are very popular, and of course, just boating and fishing and hunting and all the things that go along with river living. Of course, aside from how beautiful it is, if you're going to move somewhere, you want to know about the cost of living, the quality of life, jobs, and housing. So let's talk a little bit more about that. In general, there tends to be a lower cost of living in the Gorge area than the Portland and other metro areas, but there's lots of little pockets. So I'm going to talk about a few of the different towns that are located along the Gorge and how different they are. Just like with most of the state, most of the country, there is tight inventory right now. But tight inventory in housing doesn't mean no inventory. So if you have your pre-approval, you have your funds in order, you can likely find a home in your price range in the Gorge region. Jobs, it's kind of counterintuitive because you would think all the jobs would be in the big city. And of course, a lot of people still want to work for companies that are located in the city, but live around in smaller areas around Portland to work from home. But if you're hoping to find work in the Gorge, there's a ton of opportunity here. There are some pretty major names like Google, In-Situ, Tofurkey, Sage Tech. There's big companies that are located out here. There's tech companies, healthcare, agriculture, tourism. Since these communities are growing, they also have increasing needs. So contact me about your niche if you're an entrepreneur. We may have a need out here for that type of business. I'm going to do a quick overview of the main towns, but if you want to dive deeper into each of the communities, I'll be doing individual videos about each of them too. So subscribe below, that way you won't miss those. And you can also just leave a comment if you have a specific question. Cascade Locks is a really small town of only about 1,000 people. It's famous for the Bridge of the Gods, which is along the Pacific Coast Trail, and international sailboat racing. It is the quickest, as far as if you're leaving Portland and heading east, it's going to be the closest town and the quickest commute. I'm not sure most people would want to do that commute every day. You're going to have all those outdoor recreation opportunities, and you're going to live in a much smaller town and have probably more square footage, more acreage to be able to live on in Cascade Locks. The next town is Hood River with a little over 10,000 people. Hood River has become a huge tourist destination. There's lots of great restaurants and shops. People come from all over to windsurf. It has a gorgeous riverfront and a great historic downtown area. Hood River is really close to skiing at Mount Hood, and they have what's called the Fruit Loop, which a lot of people come from Portland and all over to visit. It's a loop with orchards and wineries and lots of great viewpoints along the way. Just a beautiful drive and a great place to visit. You can do it anytime you want. The Gorge does tend to get snow in the winter, so you will want to cozy up next to a fireplace. And most of the year, Hood River also gets more rain than some other parts of the Gorge, and wind, hence the windsurfing. But the great news is all that rain brings so many beautiful rainbows. Hood River does tend to be one of your more expensive towns in the Gorge. The next town past Hood River is the Dalles, Oregon. The Dalles is a working class industrial town that has stayed true to its roots. There's a big agricultural community. There's a lovely preserved downtown that now has great breweries and restaurants and little boutiques. The Dalles is a wonderful place to live, and again, it still has all those great recreational opportunities. It's right on the Columbia River. There are lots of beautiful, affordable homes with wonderful views of Mount Hood, of the Columbia River, and of the cherry orchards. It's a great little town to live in, especially if you want to be close to Portland, but be just outside of that area where you get tons of rain. So getting into some of the cons, I don't want to be negative. The Gorge is a beautiful place to live, but to be realistic, it's not a big city, so there are fewer opportunities to find housing and work in general. There's not as much diversity. There's going to be a lot less nightlife. There's great restaurants, sure, but there's not going to be a ton of wild things to do in the evening, and really that's this whole state. If you're coming from LA, you're gonna be confused about why nothing is open past 9:30 or 10 p.m. Another con is shopping. If you love to go shopping at big malls or bigger box stores, we don't have anything like that around here. There's lots of little boutiques and things to shop at, but you're not gonna have the more familiar stores. But again, Hood River's an hour from Portland. The Dalles is an hour and a half from Portland. If you need to go shopping, there are tons of people that live around here that go into Portland once a month or whenever they like to do the bulk of their shopping. Like I've mentioned a couple of times, inventory is tight in the area, so you will want to reach out to a skilled realtor and make sure that you have an experienced agent on your side. I'm Jessy Rose. I am a licensed Oregon realtor and an attorney. Buying or selling real estate is a legal transaction, so having someone with legal skills on your side is a benefit. I'll be doing videos that explore all the awesome areas of Oregon, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and give me a call to go look at some properties.